Welcome to Chantex Multimedia, streaming live to your device all the way from Brisbane. Hey, it's good to have your company, and we have quite a lot to talk about today. As we know, Christian Porter has been in the news, and we will look at that into detail to see what's developing there, the story that's coming. As you know, that whenever things like this happen, a while back when the Me Too the movement was started, there were so many different cases which came up to the surface. And right now, what is happening, and we know that way back when we were talking about the students' violence and the Indian students getting bashed in Melbourne, as soon as one case was reported, there were so many other cases like, what they call the mirror cases happened. So once any topic comes on, and there you always see the spin-offs. So we will follow that through, and we'll see what's the latest on that field and much more. And don't forget that today we have the travel updates, yes, to find out where you can go and what are the norms of traveling at this point in time, what are the paperwork that's required, what are the restrictions. We'll be talking to Tanvi Goel from Oz India Travels with all those updates. But first of all, let's take a very quick look at what the weather has in store for us. With that, let's welcome the Dilraj.
Good morning everyone. Weather forecast for the rest of today is maximum 27 degree. Brisbane area is partly cloudy with medium chances of showers in the morning and afternoon. Wind southeasterly 15 to 25 km per hour, becoming light in the evening. Fire danger is low to moderate. Sun protection is recommended till 3 in the evening, and UV index is predicted to reach 10, that is extreme. Till tomorrow, stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day.
And thank you very much for that update, Dilraj. It's wonderful to get the daily updates happening there as well. Well, as we know that today we'll be looking at all the things that have been happening in the Parliament. But first of all, we are going to look at that allegation made against Christian Porter. And of course, as per his remarks, quite emotional he was. He said it did not happen.
The nation's first law officer puts his account on public trial.
The things that are being claimed to have happened did not happen.
Christian Porter shattered by allegations dating back decades, insistent he'll stay on as Attorney General.
I am not standing down or aside.
To do so, he says, would be surrendering to smear and trial by media.
If that happens, anyone in public life is able to be removed simply by the printing of an allegation.
But to his accuser's family, he offered this.
You did not deserve the frenzied politicisation of the circumstances of your daughter's death of the past week. I only knew your daughter for the briefest periods.
That was more than 30 years ago, when Christian Porter was freshly graduated from Perth's prestigious Hale School. A champion debater, he was representing Australian schools in the World Universities Debating Championship in Sydney in January 1988. His accuser, a brilliant teammate, seen here in a photo alongside 17-year-old Porter on the night she claims he raped her. She was 16. Her debating partners, Joe Dyer and Nick Ryan, among several friends who firmly believe she was telling the truth.
The detail that she recounted, the lucidity with which she recounted it, and the clear impact that it had had on her, all of these things persuaded me immediately.
Their friend took her own life in June last year, leaving a detailed statement for police, included in a dossier sent anonymously to the Prime Minister, Labor's Penny Wong, and Sarah Hanson-Young of the Greens.
Nothing in the allegations that have been printed ever happened.
But the complainant's friends will continue to push for an independent inquiry, as will her lawyer.
The purpose of such an inquiry would be to address the allegation, to investigate it, to collect all of the available evidence on both sides and weigh it up and assess it and then reach a determination.
An idea with at least some political backing.
A serious allegation like this against a cabinet minister deserves to be examined.
What would I say in front of that inquiry? What would that inquiry ask me to do? To disprove something that didn't happen 33 years ago.
For now at least, he's taking some leave.
Are you okay? I've got to say, my honest answer is I really don't know.
There are two irreconcilable accounts as to what happened in January 1988. It's the word of a woman who can no longer speak for herself against the word of a man who dreamed of being Prime Minister. Christian Porter likened his case to that of Bill Shorten, who was also accused of an historical rape some years back. But Mr Shorten's accuser still lives. Her accusation was tested and then closed by police. Mr Porter's burden is that he can't prove his innocence beyond his assertions, nor will his accuser have the opportunity to press for his guilt. As to whether Christian Porter can remain Attorney-General in such circumstances will be a judgment for Scott Morrison. Andrew Probyn, ABC News, Canberra.
And that will be a tough call as we now under the current circumstances. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on that story and see how it goes. What else is making news right at this point in time? As we know that Australia's economy has grown by 3.1% in December quarter, but sank overall in 2020. So Australia's economic recovery from the pandemic is smashing expectations with faster than expected growth in the last 3 months of 2020. So leading economist Ross Greenwood says Australia has a shift from a support-based recovery to competition and avoid past mistakes of tight economic policy. Australian dollar rose strongly after better than expected growth in the local share market, which went up as well. And Attorney General Christian Porter denies historical rape allegations, as we saw from that video. Christian Porter has identified himself as the cabinet minister who is facing the historical rape allegations and fronted the media in Perth to deny those allegations, as we saw. The Attorney General said that he is denying whatever happened, and that is some 33 years back. He faced the media in a historic rape allegation, rejecting claims that he says he will not step down. So, that's the news from him. As he was confronted by media in Perth, he denied that he raped a woman in 1988, long before he entered politics. Christian Porter has identified himself as the cabinet minister who is facing these historical allegations. So, that is the breaking news at the moment, and vigorously denies the allegations. The former lawyer for the woman at the center of the allegation backs an independent inquiry. Michael Bradley says there's nothing particularly unusual about the process of inquiry into making a determination of a serious allegation against a person in position of responsibility. Zali Stegel calls for an independent investigation into the historic rape claims. The former barrister is now a federal independent member of parliament. She says it is about the need for an independent investigation into the claims that have been made about the Attorney General. And Grace Tame shuns the press club after a scathing attack on the Prime Minister. The 2021 Australian of the Year responded to a question about Scott Morrison's controversial "as a father" comment with a brief, powerful answer. The 2021 Australian of the Year was swift in her response to Angus Campbell's recent remarks made to young officer cadets on how to protect themselves from predators. An advocate for survivors of sexual assault, the Australian of the Year didn't pull any punches. Casey Briggs also looked at the federal government's target for the rollout of COVID-19 vaccines. Casey Briggs says the federal government's falling short in the early days of the national rollout of COVID-19 vaccines, with the Defence Force called in to help with the vaccine program in aged care. The complex process that goes into preparing the COVID vaccines, that's a lot that has. Before the Pfizer COVID-19 gets injected into your arm, there is a meticulous process to get it ready. The government has set an October deadline to vaccinate the entire population, but some initial mishaps, which will be with that, will the deadline be met? And soccer players' legal battle with Football New South Wales after one-punch attack. an up-and-coming soccer star who was the victim of a one-punch attack after sticking up for teammates who were racially abused, is now locked in a legal battle with Football New South Wales. Calls for more protection for sacred cultural sites after Jukan George debacle. Rio Tinto chairman and another director promised to stand down over the Jukan George debacle. Melbourne University Professor Marcia Langton says more needs to be done to protect sacred and cultural heritage sites. Dr. Jiu's books have been removed after a racist imaginary. 6 Dr. Jiu's books will no longer be published because they contain racist and intense imagery. One of the 5 Chinese report being threatened in 2020. New research reveals an increase in racist incidents against Chinese Australians during the COVID-19 pandemic. Lori Yoon Sajay, Kiran report. And rangers pull out a monster 4.5 crocodile from a trap in Darwin Harbour. Lockdown performers move from stage to screen. A local all-abilities theatre company has moved from stage to screen, releasing a short film about life in lockdown. There have been smoking remains of a truck which were hit by US airbase in Iraq. At least 10 rockets were fired at a military base in western Iraq that housed US troops. Myanmar security forces opened fire at anti-coup protesters in the city of Yangon, and at least 38 people were killed as the military quelled protest in several towns and cities. So that's the news in brief for today, and we will go into the main feature for today, as we know that today we'll be looking at the travel updates with Tanvi Goel. But before we do that, here's a message from our sponsors for this segment, which is GlobeNet Realty.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Washa Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to this very, very informative session. And it is wonderful, that a lot of vaccinations are happening. So things are starting to move in the travel industry and people are eager, as we said. And once again, we are back with travel updates with Tanvi Goel from Oz India Travels. Once again, Tanvi, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Umeshi. Thank you, everyone. Today is our 20th episode. Oh my God, I can't believe it. When we started 20 weeks ago, we were just thinking, we're going to start and let's see how things are. But I'm really so happy, and thanks to Umesh and Australian Indian Radio as well for always supporting and always coming up with these episodes. So thank you very much. And before we go ahead, guys, I would like to inform you all that today's discussion or information we provide are general information only. For all up-to-date information, please check all the recent updates, rules and regulations, because the information and things can change anytime.
As they do, information changes all the time, and then thanks to you as well. We provide the platform, but you come up with the material every week, and that is very, very, appreciative. We are very appreciative of that, and of course, it's of value to all our viewers and listeners and all the information that you share. Hey, last time when we were talking, you were talking about the flights that was going out of Brisbane on the 26th. So how did that go? Let's talk about that before we go into the updates for today.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Meshi, the flight really went very, very well. It was amazing. I was at the airport since beginning. There were so many infants as well. We had 6, 7 infants in that group. In fact, there was a mother with 3 infants. You won't believe, 16 years old, 3 infants. You'll probably see some pictures of them as well. So I had to connect her with other people and even, the babies. And she had 3 strollers and just a mother traveling. And we had a lot of passengers who knew just the regional language, such as just the Kannada, Tamil, Telugu. So I had briefed all those passengers. In fact, there was someone who had, a very bigger bag as well for the hand baggage, and airlines didn't allow. So, I helped her to take out everything, and, we kindly asked some other passengers to get some kind of poly bags and kind of fit it. So it was really a very nice experience seeing and doing a lot of different things. And thank you to all of you for once again, supporting us. And here you can see some of the claims and what customer has to say.
Lovely. Let's go to the airport and get first hand from the passengers who were traveling at that day.
Yeah.
And let's ask for a couple experience.
Well, the experience being, very nice, very smooth. We saw the advert on the Facebook, being advertised by the North India for the direct flight from Brisbane to Delhi, and we contacted Tanvi, and she was, very helpful, explained the whole process. That we're going to be the direct flight from Malaysia, here to Malaysia and then to Delhi. Don't have to change the aircraft, and all that, the small requirements, be it from the COVID test, the arrival forms, the all complete documentation was explained from step to step, and we didn't had any hassle or any problem in getting this thing done.
That's great. Thank you so much. That was nicely explained.
No, thanks to you means definitely with this times of COVID, it's not kind of the regular you travel, and I think people can relate. Their mothers and the mother-in-laws will not have made much of the international travel before, so it's always difficult for them, right? And with these times, definitely different. So you explained the whole process well, and it's a good touch that you're personally here to see everything is fine with the people, and answering the queries, be it the late evening, answering the calls. So thanks,
Thank you so much, Gaurav. Really nice to meet you. And once Mummy reaches, please let us know.
Oh, surely we'll send a message on the group. Yeah, thank you.
Guys, I'm with Kulvinder and Auntie Ji. Auntie Ji आज जा रहे हैं इंडिया. So पूछते Kulvinder, Auntie Ji कैसा लग रहा है उनका experience?
Very nice experience, and Tanvi has helped us a lot throughout the journey while we booked the tickets and filling up the forms and everything. And I recommend each and every one, whenever you want to book a flight to India, just contact Tanvi. She's the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
आंटी जी आप आराम से जाइएगा और कुलविंदर जब आंटी जी पहुंच जाए तो हमें भी बताइएगा.
Sure, I will message it to her. Thank you.
चलिए, thank you आंटी जी.
Thank you so much.
So guys, I'm here with Ketan Bhai and his son, and Daddy is going today. Let's ask Ketan Bhai how was his experience.
First of all, thank you very much, because I was chasing for last 3 months for booking, and it was not working well. But yeah, she helped me very well. और मैं मतलब 2-3 बार फ्लाइट कैंसिल हुई थी, शुरू से नहीं हो रहा था, पर इनका सपोर्ट बहुत अच्छा रहा. इन्होंने बहुत हेल्प की और बहुत सारी क्वेरीज थी मेरी, तो प्रॉम्प्ट मतलब रिप्लाई करती है. वो कभी भी हेजिटेट नहीं करती है, कुछ भी कोई प्रॉब्लम है वो इंस्टेंट रिप्लाई करती है. तो मैं रेकमेंड करूँगा डेफिनेटली, अगर कोई जा रहा है या इंडिया से आ रहा है कोई भी. तो थैंक यू वेरी मच. थैंक्स यू.
Thank you so much, Ketan Bhai. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tanvi, before we go to the last clip, I'd like to mention that it was wonderful to see him there. That was Murugesh. He's one of our Australian Indian radio's presenters, and he sent me a message. After that he was feeling very homesick and that he was going away. So it was wonderful to see him there as well.
Oh, thank you, Meji.
So let's hear from him.
And he's flying in one of our flights today, Brisbane to Delhi. And let's ask him today, how was his experience with us?
It was beautiful. When I started searching for a ticket, the first thing I came to know was Tanvi, because I always used to see her updates on Facebook. She's very active on Facebook and always keeps posting about all the flights that are going on. So पहले देखते ही गया, and then I was not let down as well, and बहुत अच्छा सर्विस है, and I think we should all take its use.
Thank you so much, Gurugesh, and let us know once you reach
Sure. Yes.
It was good to see him there as well. He's a wonderful singer too. He's a very good singer as well. So once again, that was wonderful to see him there as well. Tanvi, when looking at all the people and getting their feedback, it's wonderful to see that they are all echoing the same sentiment, that they all found you to be very approachable and never saying that, something's too hard. Whatever queries they had, you attended to them. So it is good to see that some of them had their flights cancelled, but finally there they are. So, well done.
Thank you so much, Umesh.
Okay, so moving on with today. So what are the main updates for this week?
So the main update, guys, if you probably read it somewhere from Facebook or heard it from somewhere, so Australian international borders are officially closed up till June 2021. But as usual, we'll still keep helping you, your family and friends with repatriation flights. Just for your information, there are more than 100 repatriation flights already flown from Australia to India. And in last 8 months, there were more than 15,000 standard Indians back home and those who had to see their family in emergency. So it's really a big achievement of everyone who are in the industry. So I would like to big thank to all my industrial friends and partners as well for really doing a great job, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more options coming in next few months. After that, guys, if you remember, we discussed in last few episodes as well about the digital health passport. So there was a survey done by one of the online websites, Skyscanner, and according to them, that 83% of the Australians tick that they are happy to have a digital passport, and they have no issues with that. In fact, some of the people, around 35% people said, in fact, they'll be more confident if they have a health passport, something like that. And around 30% people said that they'll be happy if having this, they don't have to quarantine anywhere around the world or in Australia as well. And they just, in that survey, around 9% Australians have not responded, but majority of people were looked really very happy that there is going to be a digital health passport, or maybe, it's in planning, and let's see how it goes. We'll definitely come back to you once it's up and running and what more information about that. But yes, it can be one of your added document when you fly in future. And next up is the wildlife framework. So there was a scientist from Flinders University and Georgia Aquarium and South Cross University have teamed up to create a new framework for wildlife tourists to determine whether or not specific practices are sustainable. So if you look at that particular study, they have got examples like shark case diving on South Australia, Eyre Peninsula, determining under the 26-factor framework that operators were well regulated in terms of numbers, but found that baiting did impact fish diets. So they are doing a bit of research on that, so to make the wildlife tourism a bit more sustainable in future. And I have got another really amazing news which I came across. I remember I see that sometime last year, but I just saw it once again. I thought it's really quite exciting to share with you all. So this one is a luxury wilderness camp located in Australia's Red Centre, has revealed the date for guests to meet the artists from Annabella Arts Community. So what they do is pretty much every year from last few years, they are doing a 3 days visit. And this time they are doing in April, June, August, October, and November. So this Arabella art industry is thriving art community that aims to ensure the preservation of indigenous art heritage and culture, with artistic creations like colorful ceramics, canvases, tiles, and they are giving the opportunity to guests to come and look at them. So these proceeds are generated from the artwork, many of which are for sale as well in boutiques and contributing directly to the community's sustainable economic growth. So as you can imagine, this particular act is not only encouraging all the artists who are creating these beautiful arts, as well as it's helping the community for the sustainable economic growth as well. And the picture which you can see here is the framed indigenous artist from Langalivi Lewis, and looks really very amazing picture out here. Next up, guys, I have a news from Qantas. So Qantas, it says Qantas goes Griffith. So Qantas has started the direct flights to Griffith as well from Sydney, and they had their first flight flown yesterday. That means day for yesterday. And the inaugural flight QF 2121 arrived in Griffith from Sydney. And they had a local business and community leaders also came to welcome this particular aircraft. And if this goes well, they will have a services daily from Griffith to Sydney, and with the turboprop 50-seater Q300. So those who are in Griffith, you have really a good news that you'll have probably a daily flight from Griffith to Sydney pretty much every day. Next up, guys, from Virgin Australia. So this is also in context with the discussion we had a few weeks back, where I told you guys that Adelaide Airport is planning to expand their lounges, and finally they came up. So Virgin Australia has lifted the lid of top secret revamp of its Adelaide Airport Lounge, formally opening the 283 seat capacity, featuring a coffee bar, a sailor dole, a separate dining areas. So when you go to the Adelaide Airport, you might see there are a lot more amazing things up there. Okay, so next up, guys, I really want to share with you something really amazing I came across, and I thought I'll tell you guys once I know the international borders are open and you are free to fly, but at least you can start dreaming from today, can't you? Yes, you can, and I'm dreaming as well. So guys, so this is a superior design, untouched beauty, a pure luxury. So welcome to the Kokomo, a private island, Fiji. I'm sure Umeshi must be thinking, yes, we are talking about Fiji. Yes, guys. So this particular place where the pristine reefs set the scene of unrivaled experience, a word away from the word, a place where the spectacular white sand beaches are yours for taking, where the privacy is a paramount and service is superior, and when you go there, you are a priority. So this particular place is a retreat for families, a heaven for honeymooners, and a paradise for the lovers of authentic barefoot experiences. So you can imagine this is really a spectacular place. And why I'm telling about this place, you might be thinking, why she's talking about just this particular resort, not other? Because, guys, this is a really amazing place where you can actually hire a full private island. So island will be yours. There'll be no one else except you or your family. And just to give you an idea, you can hire this particular private island for around 88,000 Australian dollars a night. That is also possible. And this Kokomo buyout is available for around 30 guests. They have 21 villas, 1 to 3 bedroom villas are there. They have a yoga facilities there. You'll have your own nanny. Those who are like me going with the babies, you have your own nanny, and the butlers are there. And so many amazing, the tours they have, the Blaze tours. You can do sunset sail, and so many amazing options these guys have up there. So I thought I'll just show, go through with you this particular place. And if Kumeshji kindly want to show a clip of that particular, island, that will be great. Okay, so guys, next up is really great news from Emirates. I think you'll be probably surprised to know that, because I myself have never heard something like that before. And I would say, maybe it's a COVID who came up, who brought such kind of news. So Emirates is now offering its economy class passengers the option to pre-book up to 3 empty seats for travelers seeking for extra privacy in space, especially those who are flying with the infants, or the older parents, or those who are looking for more privacy, or a bit more space due to COVID. There is an option that you can buy 3 empty seats. And this particular option is definitely depends on subject to availability, if airlines has those seats available. And just to give you an idea, those prices are starting from around Australian $100 to Australian $250 per seat plus taxes. So Emirates said the new space option would suit travelers such as couples and those who need the entire row just for their family, and per person can buy maximum 3 seats. So that's really something amazing which I came across and thought of sharing with you all. And next up is really good news from the U.S. airlines. So there are 7 U.S. airlines last week stated that they would begin collecting information from all international passengers to help health officials more quickly to warn passengers if they have come across any exposed coronavirus on a flight. So I'll tell you about the name of the flights who have, came up with this great news as well, because it's not only for airlines or the staff, but for everyone who is traveling around as well. So American Airlines, Alaska Airlines, Delta Airlines, Hawaiian Airlines, JetBlue Airways, Southwest Airlines, United Airlines, they all are involved in this particular act. And it's really good to see that, and we thought we'll share with you. Umesh.
Now that is wonderful news. With Emirates, you buy up those seats. That way, it's guaranteed that you have that freedom of space. Wow, that is just wonderful. Well, right now, getting back to this, what is happening with Brisbane at the moment? So, what are the flight options from Brisbane?
So, Umesh, I'm really happy to say that 6 charter only departed successfully from Brisbane so far. I remember when the first flight departed on 12th of August, 27th September, 5th November, 21st December, and then January, February. And the 7th one is actually flying on 18th of March. So, guys, this particular charter is a Garuda Indonesian Airlines. Maybe in case you are not aware what that airlines is, they are the 5-star airlines from Indonesia. They are full service airlines giving you really all the services you would need. So they're giving you meal, they're giving you entertainment. And fare of this particular flight, the lowest so far from Brisbane is $999 for Delhi to Brisbane to Delhi. And you have quite a few options to have 30 close, 40 close, 15 close, you can have this particular flight. And as usual, we are connecting this flight to all around India as well. And just to your surprise, the business class fare is also very, very less, which was probably would never heard it before. Around $1,650 is a business class fare starting for this particular flight. Now, if you can't fly on this flight for some reason, if the visa is expiring or something else, we have connected all our other charters from Brisbane as well. So the next available you can have on 11th of March, then 13th of March. We got 25th of March if you have to fly to Bangalore, where we can connect you via Sydney to Bangalore. Then we got 27th March. 15th of April and 29th of April is the new ones which came up. I'll discuss with you in our Melbourne flights as well. But there are quite a few options you have from Brisbane. And also want to mention about Emirates flight. Yes, there are the Emirates flights going at least 2 to 3 per week which you can take. But in my experience, I'll probably recommend you to try and take a Friday flights, because Friday flights pretty much connect, the Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne and different city flights to Dubai, which means the chances of cancellation of that particular Emirates flights are less. One more reminder I want to give you guys here is, if you are taking connection, the first connection is Emirates connection and second connection is a Fly Dubai connection. Remember that in this case, you won't be able to apply for a free lounge or free hotel. So in order to apply for free lounge services or free hotel services from airlines. It has to be both flight has to be Emirates flights. Then we can apply for that. And yeah, it's all from Brisbane at the moment. So
So that's very good. I'm really interested in that business class one. Oh, wow, never heard of that price. So yeah, it is wonderful to see that happening. So just wondering if they have all the quirks that they normally have in the business flights.
They are pretty much giving you everything maximum possible. So they have not really given the set guideline or set terms, Meshi, but they are giving you the basic stuffs you would need for business class for sure.
All right. On the Virgin flight that we took to Sydney, so instead of Opal meal, they had pre-packed ones. So that was a bit different. But anyway, it's good. So now talking about Sydney, what's the options that we have now from Sydney?
So from Sydney, we have, guys, 3 more charters left for this particular this month. There is no charter release afterwards. So next available is 13th of March, then 18th of March, and 27th of March. There are some Vande Bharat mission flights are also available. You can probably take 8th of March, then 15th of March, and 22nd of March. Now, fare-wise, from Sydney, the fare is around $1,099 for all the charters. And if you want to take Vande Bharat mission flights, the fare is around $1,800.
So about 1,800, that's still not too bad there. Right now, I think you were mentioning something about Melbourne, and here's Melbourne once again. So what's happening with Melbourne?
So, Meji, this week we got 2 more flights launched from Melbourne. So, first is 15th of April and 29th of April. So far, guys, in Australia, only 2 flights available in April, which is going from Melbourne. So, if you're going from different city, we can connect you, but there is no other charter available from any city at this stage. If you want to fly before April, then the option is 11th of March seems to have only business class seats available at this stage. Then we got 19th of March, that's a Singapore Airlines charter, if you want to take that, and a 25th March charter available as well. And if you want to go with Emirates flights are also there, but I'll probably recommend you to take a charter flights because you have a charter flights option available pretty much every week, and in April, every 2 weeks so far.
East, west, north or south, we've got you all covered. So let's go to South Australia. What's the status from Adelaide?
So from Adelaide, we got flight on, we can connect on 13th of March, 18th of March, 27th of March. In fact, the April flights as well on 15th of April or 28th of April, 25th of April. We can get you all those flights sorted if you want to fly from Perth.
And now the Western Australia, Perth. What's the status from Perth?
Okay, the Adelaide and Perth, as I mentioned before, there is no direct flights from there. But if you want to fly from Perth or Adelaide, we can connect you from any of those upcoming flights. So once again, 13th of March, 25th of March, 27th of March, and then if you want 15th of April or 29th of April, we can get you all those flights from there.
Okay, so that's wonderful news once again there. Well, of course, we've got Australia covered here now. What about people who want to come back from India to Australia? Because we know that there's so many people who are still stuck, and we've got quite a few options from Australia going to India. But I think, people would also like to know what's happening with any updates from India to Australia.
Umeshi, India to Australia, I would say, is getting better as well. Like I mentioned last week as well, I'm really very happy now as well that I sent one passenger 20th of February and he came back to Brisbane already 27th of February. So for me, guys, it's an achievement. But I can tell you that I have seen many passengers who came back in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks as well. And before I tell you the dates and other things which you can do, I would really highly recommend you to be really updated, being in contact with the DFAT, Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, because if they know that you are curious to come, they are definitely giving people chances as well. So please do that. And next available flight, which we know so far from Delhi to Sydney, that these are the Vande Bharat mission flights. So 14th of March and 21st of March are definitely available. And hopefully 5 to 7 days before the flight booking will be open. So please keep in touch and keep checking the website as well. You can follow our page as well, as India Travel page. We also update whenever we get update that they're going to open the flight bookings. We always update that as well. So there are few flights, and also from Qantas, seems there are 2-3 flights coming. But for Qantas flights, if you have registered with DFAT, you will be getting direct payment links and details as well, that which date and when you have to book. So you can get all that. And in case you have not registered, guys, I would highly recommend you to please register yourself and update your existing registration as well, that you're still in India, because if you don't update it, they won't know whether you have flown so far or not. So the website is www.covid19.dfat.gov.au, and please keep checking Australians Stuck in India Facebook page, because there are so many other passengers who keep telling you the tricks and tactics, that how they contacted and how they came back and how was their experience and throughout the journey as well.
And those chat forums are quite useful if you get into those groups. You can learn some tips and other things from other people and what they've done and what they found, and you'll get to know, do this or do that, or don't do this. So talking about do this or do that, what are your tips for people who are traveling at this point in time?
Umesh, the very first tip I would give to everyone, in fact, I would like to warn everyone with this tip is, guys, I have seen some of the posts flowing around where some people mention that, some airlines going to open in June 2021 because, border is closed till then, and after that they have to allow airlines to come back. Also, people mention that the hotel quarantine is going to be stopped in Australia. And I have seen some posts where someone said, we have already booked the flights, from certain airlines from India to Australia, and that cost them $650 only. So why to pay extra, $1,500 or a few $1,000s? Then I saw another comments where people said they are also considering to book that. So guys, I would like to warn you that if you see such comments, it's a personal experience of somebody, but please remember that there is no information officially. So I believe you should wait for the official announcement before you do such kind of bookings, because as you know that from last 12 months or so, that the border closure is just keep extending, and you don't know whether after June also they're going to extend. So in case you book those flights, guys, remember you will be in a refund queue, because if those flight doesn't operate, because right now they are not allowed to come, and we are not sure whether in June they would be allowed or not. So if you book those flights, you will be in a queue to get the refunds. So I would say please use your smart brain before you take any decisions, and go from there. Next, I would again want to remind you all, like I mentioned last time, please always check rules and regulations. In fact, even keep checking the Air Suvidha website as well whenever you're flying to India. Because if there were some changes happened on 22nd of February, in case you were still not aware or missed that point last week, now you have to fill only self-reporting form, not self-exemption form. And with that form, you have to upload your COVID-19 72 hours before departure, the test you have done. So you have to upload that COVID report with the self-reporting form. And please keep checking in case they make any more changes or you have to do anything else for that. And please remember that COVID test has to be done 72 hours before departure only. In last flight also, I have seen some passengers who have done actually 96 hours before departure and have to literally call them and say that no, 23 February you don't have to do, you have to do it 24th, and they have to redo it again. Please remember, guys, this is going to cost you as well. Because now there is hardly any center who is doing it free of cost to you, and that might cost you maybe $135 to $200 to get the COVID test done. So please do it at the right time. If you're not sure, call your agent and check with us as well if you have any doubt. Please remember the face mask is mandatory. In the last week flight as well, we had a lot of people came without face mask and they were denied entry. In fact, myself, I bought like 4 or 5 masks myself and I have given to those people. But still, if in case someone doesn't have it or anything, you should make sure that you have that mask with you. Yeah, last but not least, if you have registered with the DFAT, Department for Affairs and Trade, please do so because then only you will come to know that what flights are coming up. And also we are planning and also in partnership with some charter companies from India to Australia. So we might have some news for you in next few weeks or months that, there are some more flights coming from India. And in last, please go through our last 19 episodes we had. There are a lot of information up there. If you like this particular episode, please share with your family and friends and let us know as well if you have any questions for us, which we can include in our upcoming episodes. Please let us know that how was your experience. If you have traveled recently, how was that as well? If you have any questions, feel free to call us. I want to mention once again, that doesn't matter, guys, you have booked with us or not. We are in this together. You might have so many questions, and some say it's silly question. Don't worry, nothing is no question is a silly question. You can always contact us on our website, which is www.ausindiatravel.com.au. You can land on our page, which is Aus India Travel. You can call us on our hotline 040-440-3264. And we are there for you all the time, all day long, and on weekends as well. So, yeah, don't worry about that. Just stay safe and healthy.
And well done once again, and such wonderful reviews from all the clients. And as you mentioned, they go through the last 19 episodes, and they are all there. And you can see them on Australian Indian Radio's Facebook page, or if you like YouTube, if you prepare YouTube, you can see all the episodes there as well. So Tanvi, once again, thank you very much for this another very informative session as we all navigate through these tough times, and as things change, we need to adapt ourselves. And with that adaptation, we need to keep updated. So, and all our travelers, you have been updating everyone. So, thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much, Umesh. Thank you, everyone. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Jai Hind. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you very much, Tanvi, for that very, very informative session, as I said before. Well, right now, let's take a very quick look at some of the functions and events happening right here in Brisbane. And it's good to see that so many functions are now taking place, of course, in person now. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, it's time to say goodbye. It's been wonderful having your company, as we know that every day we bring to you some updates. And tomorrow we will have the Garland of Languages, which is happening at BMEC on the Saturday, the 13th of March. So we will have all the artists. We'll have Charu, Ravi Kes, and Parminder Ohaman all here talking to you about that event and what you can expect on that event. So and don't forget that tomorrow at 4 p.m. we'll have migration ka safar, the migration update with Suman Dua. So every day we bring to you some artist or some consultant from their part of the industry to update you on what's happening during these challenging times. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been wonderful having your company, and once again, so good to see you. Until tomorrow, it's goodbye from me. Enjoy the rest of the day, but most importantly, do remain safe and watch out for all those rules.